How someone like you just have like five businesses at the same time? How do you manage your time and your energy at the same time with those businesses and how you prioritize it?
So I think if you are working in the business, working in multiple businesses is difficult. But if you are working on the business and you're working with the teams who are aligned, and I've been lucky that I've got really good people, my business partners as well as our team members have been very aligned and very hardworking. So that's also luck. But I enjoy working on the business, not in the business.
I want a good life, filled with highlights, and I want someone like you. I want paradise with the sunset, if I could only be with you.
Really. I'm just intrigued and inspired. What was the motivation behind leaving the corporate job, 4,000 dirhams per month, and pursuing your entrepreneurship?
So, growing as a child, I always had this ambition of having something on my own. So it was there some inside me. But when I landed in Dubai, I had a good job. I was doing okay in the job. The company was good, culture was good. I had good friends. So I spent there 5 years. But later 5 years, I felt that if I don't move now, I will never move. Because by then I was married, my wife was expecting. So I thought that more and more responsibilities are coming my way. So if not today, then never. So might as well be today. So if something that I wanted to do as from my childhood, I thought this is the time, and I jumped in and I resigned.
Did you have any financial security when you take this leap of faith and jump?
So gratuity was the only security really, because even though those days 4,000-5,000, you was living in place like Dubai, you'd pay 2,000 rent. So it wasn't that great savings. But I know I was looking for a business that would require a lower initial capital. So the only thing I could focus on was look for something where there are low entry barriers. I'm not going to require to have a lot of money to start a business, because my only saving was really the gratuity that I had.
Okay, just again, taking this motivation and moving, I think there is a reason behind it, right? What was the motivation? What was the influence behind taking this decision?
I think the all ambition that I had always as from childhood, because my father had been in business, my grandfather had been in business, so heard a lot of stories about doing business, was very well aware of the risks involved because seen the ups and downs in the family also. So there was this the passion or the ambition to do it. I think that was the main fire in the belly to try it, and that pushed me to resign from the job and take that first leap of faith.
What was your first idea in your business?
First, I decided to do some trading because I was selling furniture in my job. Earlier job, I thought I will step out and also sell some furniture, because those days I was doing good with furniture trading in Afghanistan and Iraq. So I thought that would be my low-hanging fruit. But as soon as I stepped out, I realized that it's not easy. I don't have the money. I can't give the credit terms that are required to fund that business. So immediately I grasped that even though I know this business, this is not for me today.
Because of the capital?
Because of the capital required, the funding wasn't easily available. Maybe I didn't have the appetite for the risk to borrow money from somebody at that level, at that age. So I decided to focus on what I can do with lower capital. And then moving happened to us, because then we realized that moving is something which has a similar target market that I can use from my earlier furniture experience. And it doesn't require a lot. It didn't require that time a lot of capital to start with. You could hire a few people from outside. You could rent your truck. It was more of a selling job. As long as you were able to convince people that you know the job and their goods are safe and secure with you, you could win the job. I think that was one of the points where I said, I would rather use my skills in closing sales and then use subcontractors to execute the job and monitor them. It will save me a lot of cash in the beginning. That was the motivation to get into the moving business.
When was the time that you said, okay, I'm moving forward with my first business, but now I need to go for the idea for second business? What was the motivation behind this as well?
Again, I would refer back to my family. So my grandfather growing up, was always used to tell me that if you ever get into business, have 2 or 3. Because business is like circus. One day you're up, one day you're down. You always go through these cycles. And each business has its own cycle. So he kept on, drilling that in my head that if you ever do business, have 2, 3, because when one business is low, the second might save you. So this was also sort of engraved in me through the stories that I was hearing from my grandfather growing up. So I've always wanted to do more than more than 1 or 2 or 3. That was also engraved in me.
What was the idea for your second business?
The second business was so there's a fantastic story behind it. Is actually my second business failed. We started that business. So me and my business partner, we do everything together. We've been doing it together. We started selling ready-made clothes. So it was a fashion brand that we launched. And, I think with the mistake that we made, probably, every failure has a learning, right?
Sure.
So good that it failed, because then we learned. So I would like to refer to a book by Jim Collins called Good to Great, where he says, fire bullets and then cannonball. Whereas you as an entrepreneur, you go by your gut feel. You think you have the sixth sense and you think it's going to work, so you jump into it. So that's fine, because that gut feel is required as an entrepreneur. But what we need to take care of is, with your gut feel, you get into it, but then test it if it's working without really giving all your resources to it.
What was the major reason behind the failure of this business, if you reflect back?
So we didn't really invest a lot of time in testing what is selling, what is not selling. We went and bought items which we thought will sell. We also started big. We didn't start with a small shop. We started with a big shop. So we really fired the cannonballs without really seeing whether the bullet is hitting the enemy or not, as Jim Collins say. So we put all our time, energy and cash resources without really testing the market if it's working or not working. And that's why it didn't work. What we thought will work didn't work. But by that time, we had consumed all our resources. So we took a U-turn. I think there is one more lesson here, is as an entrepreneur, it's okay to take a U-turn. It's not about our ego. At the end of the day, the business has to make sense. So at one point of time, me and my partners felt that this is not working. And we said, if we try to stretch it more, it will even pull our other business down. So we will not bring our ego in. We don't have to prove it to anyone that we do multiple businesses successfully. If we are doing a business, it has to be profitable. It has to be cash flow positive. If this business is not profitable, if this business is not cash flow positive, we are more than happy to take a U-turn, and that's fine.
Don't you think that if you continue just to move with this business and find what was the major reason behind this failure and cash it up, it will work? It would work at that time?
I think that timing was not a good time in our life, because we had already consumed a lot of resources. So we needed some breathing space. So we took a gap of 1 or 2 years and bounced back with the third business, which today employs more than 150 people.
Wow.
So it does work. It's that breathing space was required then, because we had gone all out into that business. So by taking a U-turn, coming back, focusing on what we were doing, generating more cash that could fund the third business, was actually a good decision, and it worked in our benefit.
Third business. If we're talking about third business, because I know you're passionate about this and seeded. So what was the idea for your third business?
That idea came out of an accident. So the third business we have, as in now that was the second business, because the very second business didn't work. So it's a business of leather repairs.
Oh.
So while moving, we had an incident where a few leather dining chairs were damaged. And the customer was in pain, and we were also in pain, because if there is a damage, you are also in pain from the customer service point of view. So I went around the town looking for a solution to repair it, and I couldn't find it. So that was like an eye-opener, that there is a huge market, but there is no solution easily available in Dubai or in UAE.
Was it expensive furniture?
Yeah, it was expensive furniture. So replacing that genuine leather furniture would have been extremely expensive. So if we could repair it, that would have saved both the parties a lot. That would have saved a lot of emotional value for the customer and financial value for us. So while looking around, then I realized such service exists, it's just not in UAE. So that's a perfect gap to start a business. And that's how we got into the leather doctor business. And that business today has an office in Dubai, Abu Dhabi. It has more than 150 employees. So that did well for us.
I'm reflecting on that because most people in your place at that time, maybe they will think from other perspective, okay, if this problem has happened to me, then maybe I'll look for insurance next time. So I look at it, but you look at it from another perspective, how there is some potential gap in the marketplace, and you want to close this gap, just not to put this pain, with a medicine moving forward, but you kill it and you move it into a business. I'm so intrigued to move to the fourth business. I know you have a lot of great ideas, but really I'm intrigued to understand it.
So we have one more business, which is where we sell office furniture. And I came from an office furniture background, and one of my clients was running an office furniture business. So when one of his partner wanted to exit the business, that was obviously a low-hanging fruit for us, because we knew the business. We knew the person who was running the business. We were handling the logistics for that business. So we knew their product, we knew their stocks, we knew everything about that business. And the person who was running that business is an Australian-Italian gentleman. We became very good friends. So when his other partner wanted to exit, we decided to step in and we became their partners. That's how the other business, furniture business, happened to us.
The last business that you... What was the idea behind it?
So we usually, if you see, our comfort zone is the real estate facility space, because we have a moving relocation business, we have a leather repair business, we have a furniture business. And the obvious extension of that was if we could do cleaning and sanitization services, because deep cleaning, water tank cleaning, AC duct cleaning, these are services required when you're either relocating or whether you're refurbishing or doing new things into your real estate or facility space. So we thought, again, let's build the whole ecosystem around the facilities real estate space, so that we have the similar target markets, we have the expertise, we know how to work with the workers that are required, we know how to get the best out of them and create a win-win situation. So the cleaning business happened to us, and we started a cleaning and sanitization company.
What is the most closest business to your heart? And why?
I think it's like asking a parent, to choose a child. But I think always, if you ask most of the entrepreneurs, I've asked this question earlier to people, their first business usually is their closest to their heart, because that's where their journey began. So my business journey in Dubai began because of the moving business. It also is there for 20 years. It is ultimately fulfilling our vision, because me and my partner, we had a vision that we want to have 1,000 families make their living through the resources we have created. And this business has helped us to achieve it, 50% of that, because this business nearly employs 500 people. So it helped us achieve 50% of our vision. So obviously that's very close to our heart.
How do you treat your employees?
I think I'm sure every businessman, every entrepreneur's goal is to have good employees retained for a longer period of time. So all that is required to really take care of them is what everybody should do, and I'm sure there are people who are doing it. One important thing, I think, when I look back we focus on is the dignity of the employee. As in, for us, that dignity is at a very, very high level. Even if somebody is leaving us, we rarely go after them. Like we don't, not rarely, we never gone after them. Everybody has a right to grow. We have created 6-7 other businesses competition to us from out of our businesses, but we really never went after them because we truly believe that he's born and God has given him, sent him to this earth. He or she has a right to grow and will maintain their dignity. Will have a healthy competition and let them grow. So that, I think dignity is one word that we've treated everyone with respect and dignity.
How do you manage your talents inside the business? People who are talented, do you let them go and leave easily, or do you have any retention plan for them?
So if you go to my website, actually the main line on my website is finding right people is luck. Keeping them with you is a skill. And I truly believe that, because you find the right people. There is no real strategy of finding right people. But once you find them, you have to go all in so that they stay with you. And different people expect different things, right? So there is no one formula, but it's about spending time with them, understanding what they want, and create the path for them to grow, or create the path for them to walk in the direction that they want. Is it possible every time? No, it may not be possible every time in every situation, but we do our best to do it. And I'm really proud to say that in one of our businesses, we have more than 100 people who have completed more than 10 years with us.
Wow.
I think we really take a pride in saying that. So extremely high retention. So I'm sure there is something that we are doing is working. That's why 100 people are with us for more than 10 years.
How someone like you just have like 5 businesses at the same time? How do you manage your time and your energy at the same time with those businesses, and how you prioritize it?
So I think if you are working in the business, working in multiple businesses is difficult. But if you are working on the business and you're working with the teams who are aligned, and I've been lucky that I've got really good people, my business partners as well as our team members have been very aligned and very hardworking. So that's also luck. But I enjoy working on the business, not in the business. So I participate in strategizing, I participate in alignment, I participate in creating future plans for the business, but I am very less involved in execution. So I spend time in things that I am good at, but I leave everything else for the team to take care. And I think that's the only way you can work on multiple businesses. If you're fully involved in the business, then it's difficult to find time.
At this time, how do you build that trust with those team? Especially for 5 business, I think, managing too many people, and just if you delegate, it's not easy. How do you manage this?
Building trust? It's also fire bullets and then cannonball. Really, that's a so slow process, right? As in, you don't trust someone in first 1 hour. Obviously, you work with them, you understand their reactions in different situations, and that whole the way, whether their words are matching their actions, whether they are involved, how self-oriented they are, or they have company's interest ahead of their interest. You observe these things and slowly go on increasing their responsibility. And that's how that trust is built, because then as you increase the responsibility, you see the results, you see the reactions, and then you correct it, you align it and move forward. So trust is never built in an hour. You'll have to give a lot of energy and time and be observant, be open-minded. Be ready to lose certain battles as long as the company is winning the war, and this whole process will help you build the trust in the long run.
Did you face like a time where you build a partnership with an employees with you just to take your business to the second level or another level?
Yeah, so we have a system going on where we say that if somebody's worked with us for a few years, and if they are aligned, we've actually started few businesses where we have taken them as our business partners. So our India operations is managed by a gentleman who was earlier our employee, but he was very good. He is very good, and he is aligned. Our core values match. So we've made him a business partner in India. Similarly, we've done in Saudi Arabia. Similarly, we've done in the cleaning business. So people who are aligned, we really don't want to let them go. They are integral part of the system, and they also need to grow with us. So the brand, the holding company has a policy where once you find the right person who is aligned, figure out something where they can be partners in the system, and they grow, we grow. It's a perfect win-win situation.
I know that you have started to expand your businesses, right? Do you have any tactics or strategies on scalability for the business? When is the right time to scale and expand your business?
I think scalability also requires some sort of discipline. It's not just the owners thinking of we want to scale. I think there's a lot goes in preparation. So for scalability, you need a certain type of culture or certain type of discipline to be built within the organization so that the scalability becomes sustainable. Because otherwise you can grow quickly, but if you're not able to sustain it, it will fall down. So I think we've spent time on building that, really what are our priorities? We work a lot on numbers and data. So some cultures of having set your priorities, making sure that the conversation with the team is constantly on related to the priorities, constantly monitoring certain numbers, creating certain disciplines like having your day started with a daily huddle. These things, I think they contribute to the culture that helps you ultimately scale up, because certain practices makes you scale up. Just money is not enough to scale up. Yes, it can scale up business, but then you won't sustain. So that growth will finally need a culture to sustain that growth. And I think that's where our focus is. We've never grown overnight. None of our businesses have grown overnight. We do it the orthodox way, that we build the culture, we build the team, we build the rhythm, we have certain things done consistently, and then grow over the period, and over the period that growth is achieved. But we feel confident that way because we've taken so much of effort to grow and so much of discipline and consistency in that growth, it is sustainable.
Do you have any time in your journey that you have faced like setbacks or self-doubts and said, maybe I raised the white flag on myself, I don't want to continue this business?
I think, such situations come in where you give all your energy and cash and time, and things don't work. So that's the time you really feel that, what's happening to me, and if I am able to do it once or twice, why am I not able to do it the third time? So you start self-doubting, but there's one solution to that. I think it's surrounding yourself with people who will pull you up. I'm a big fan of that. So I have a network. So you know that Corporate Connections is other business that I'm in, where we have created a community of such lonely entrepreneurs who may feel lonely. We have created a support group for them, so they feel comfortable talking to each other, leverage each other's energy, each other's experiences. In such situations where you're feeling low, I think having those right people around you who are willing to pull you up is a great decision, I think. And I think every entrepreneur should surround himself with such people who are willing to take it. They become your best friends, they become your mentors, you become their mentors, because it's a two-way traffic, right? All of your experience in leveraging each other's experiences, trust and relationship.
I love your energy. I love how you're being humble. Someone like you managing such businesses and people under just your corporate around you. What is the source that you always keep into your mind that keep you always humble, whatever level that you have, whatever financials that you would have? How do you keep yourself humble in the way?
I think realizing that what you are doing is only certain percentage of your journey. you meeting the right people at the right time is also luck. There are people coming your way and supporting them. I always give this example that when I started the business, Dubai was doing well. The winds were flowing in the right direction. Okay, what we did is we held on to the sailing boat properly. We worked hard in holding on to the sail, but the winds were flowing in the right direction. I can't take the credit for the wind. So I met the right people at the right time in my life, meeting those business partners who are not wasting their time in pulling me back, but investing their time in pushing me up. You are a 360 degree of people you surround yourself with, the timing, the policies and government policies, the overall environment. And we've been lucky we are living in UAE. It has an amazing business environment. So all these factors have contributed to everyone's success. I think as long as we have the acknowledgement that I'm only a certain percentage of the success and the balance percentage are external factors, I just happen to be lucky to be in that situation at that time, meeting those right people. Acknowledging that will always make anyone humble. The moment we feel I have done it, that's where you lost it. Because you really haven't done it. You've done a part of it.
Unleash is the bridge between my purpose and my mission. And my mission is unleashing the human greatness to its utmost potential.